Hello, hello, everyone. Another beautiful day in Massachusetts. Today, my guest is my friend Debbie Larson. Debbie is real estate investor just like me. She has several businesses, and we met with Debbie under great mentorship. Our personal mentor is Jesse Stanton, and we all are lucky and blessed. First, to step into real estate. Second, to find Jesse as our mentor. But most important, to find awesome people in our cohort. I'm proud to be your friend, Debbie. Thank you so much for being my friend and being my guest.
Thank you for having me. Yes, thank you.
Awesome. How is your day, Debbie? How is everything?
It is good. How was your day?
Oh my gosh, my day is busy, busy, busy. Several Zooms, several phone calls, but it's cool.
Very good.
It's
very
cool.
Good.
I love it. I love it. Thank you, Debbie.
Busy is good.
Yeah. It makes us alive, right? Alive.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So today our conversation with Debbie is private money lending. Actually, Debbie owns several real estate businesses. She runs wholesalers team. She is the part of syndication team, and she is private money lender. She is direct private money lender. So today I would like to build our conversation around her personal evolution, how she started lending, and how she worked with her mindset to step over her fears. Okay, step. Let's do it.
Okay.
Debbie, please tell us a little bit more about yourself first.
Okay. So I have been in real estate off and on for several years. I was a real estate agent in Las Vegas, Nevada, and worked for a developer there way back in the day. And then I moved to my hometown, which is very small, had a couple of rentals, but didn't have, I mean, if something went wrong, there wasn't anybody to fix them. So I got rid of that. And then I got into politics. I have been a county assessor in my county for 34 years because I just like real estate. I mean, yeah. So to keep my fingers in the pie, I guess, so to speak. And then in December of 2023, I was just scrolling through Facebook and saw this thing on women getting into real estate. And obviously I had the same mindset that most people do, is you have to have money to make money in real estate. And so I thought, well, I'm going to just do this. Yeah. I mean, that's what people think. So got on this masterclass. It was 7 days long, and they were talking about OPM, other people's money. And I'm like, that is mind blowing. That is just mind blowing. So because I was so intrigued by the presentation, they didn't go into great detail. So I thought, I'm going to do this mastermind because I need to know more about that. That's just mind blowing.
Yeah.
So started the masterclass, got to learning everything, and I thought, why am I going to be paying somebody else 12 to 15% interest when I've got some liquid cash? So I need to be making that kind of money. And it's a huge, for me, it was, and I'm very, very conservative. I am not a risk taker. I don't play in the stock market. I'm married to a rancher.
Don't open, Debbie, please don't open all secrets. Don't open all secrets right away. Let's do it. Let's build it step by step. Yeah, you just mentioned actually awesome thing. We all, when we join this community in our now our mentorship, we all had the same mindset, full of scaredness, right? Full of fear. We did not know what to do. We believe we really need a bunch of money to start buying whole business, right? Yeah. But let's come back a little bit to your lending experience. What motivated you to start lending? What was your first, I would say not experience, but your first decision to start lending?
Just through that,
it's a huge step. Yeah.
Through the mentorship that I was taking and learning all about it, I was basically looking at that saying, there's all these people out there making 12 to 15% interest on their money. And that's stupid for me not to be doing the same thing. I mean, if it's that viable and that doable, then, and there was a lot of safeguards in place and stuff like that. And you learn all that as you go. But, and I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm one of those kind of people that I'm conservative, but when I find something that I find intriguing, I jump off the cliff, so to speak. Yeah. So I thought, I think I know enough about this now. I'm just going to go do that. So, I did my first deal and basically went, I got really, really lucky. And there was a lot of things that I should have done that I didn't do, but I got very blessed and it all worked out okay. But at the end of the day, if I do my part, I take a lot of the risk out of it.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. We all are learning. We all are learning. We are doing mistakes, lots of mistakes. Yeah. Right. Go fail to win. Cool.
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I failed to do my part, but I got very lucky. But there's just, like I said,
congratulations, you failed.
Thank you.
You can't.
Yeah. After I did it, I was like, I think I missed a few steps. But there's so much out there with private money lending that does give you protection and does give you safety nets. That if you do your due diligence, don't count on everybody to do it for you. Do your own due diligence. Run your comps. Know the deal. Know what what the exit strategies are. Technically, obviously it could still go south. Everything in life can go south. Use a title company. Get your promissory note. Get your deed of trust.
Let's go step by step. How did you start? Yeah, I know you want to share with people all your knowledge. It's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. After my first deal, I changed my strategy. Technically, the deal is important. To make sure the deal pencils out is huge. So yes, you do need to run your own comps. You need to know the location of the property. Is it in a good location? But the second step for me was the relationship with the buyer.
Interesting.
To me, that is your biggest, best safeguard, is building that relationship with your buyer, getting to know your buyer. And I'm not talking text, emails. My second one was very, very, very different. And I wanted face-to-face by Zoom or FaceTime. Because you can't read somebody through a text. You can't read somebody through an email. You can't even read somebody on a phone call. I mean, you can get a feel to some degree on a phone call. I've learned many, many times you can BS anybody with a text and an email. Very easy to come across friendly and easygoing and, professional. And then you talk to them on the phone and you're like, wait, what? But I think you need to take it even one step farther and do a Zoom so you can see their reactions to things, how they hold themselves, how they, do they pay attention, or are they like looking around like, this is boring me. I don't really want anything to do with this. Either that or FaceTime. I've had transaction coordinators actually interview the buyer and send me the video of the buyer talking. And if that doesn't appeal to me, then I don't even move forward with the deal. It can all pencil out 100%, but if that video doesn't give me the warm fuzzy, it's a no deal.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you, how did you meet your first buyer? So I mean, your first borrower, person who borrowed money from you. Oh, and actually, did you do lending or you done partnership?
Just lending, no partnerships.
For your first, okay. So how did you meet your first buyer?
It was through an ad through the community that I belong to. She put an ad out there that she was looking for so much money, and this was her deal, and blah blah blah. And at that time, I mean, I felt very comfortable about comping the deal. I've been a real estate assessor for 34 years. I know how to run comps. Look, I know location is location in real estate. So So basically did all my due diligence there, felt that the deal was really good. The property was in a great place. Her exit strategies were very viable. The interest rate was good. So, I mean, that was, you know, that was easy to do. Didn't really work on the relationship part. Talked to her on the phone. And after that,
it did not work, right, Debbie? It did not work. I mean, relationship.
I'm still in the
with your
process
borrower.
of that particular deal. It hasn't closed yet. So, and that's when I realized that the relationship part was, because basically it's, even though you're a PML and you're lending this person money, you are part of that deal. You are part of the deal. The success is just as much yours as it is the buyer's. So, you know, weekly communication, sending pictures of the progress, all of that became very apparent to me and very important to me. And that's not going to happen if you don't connect with the buyer. If they don't have the compassion for you and the feel of you being part of their deal, you're going to be pulling teeth to get anything out of them. So I think, you know, with real estate, location. For me, with the PML, it's relationship.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. And I would like to ask people who right now who watch, who see us, could you please put 1 in the chat if you believe it's human-based business, and could you please put 2 if you believe numbers are the most important? Okay, Debbie, it was so cool, so interesting. So did you do first lien position in your first deal, or you jumped into second lien right now?
First on the first one, and I've done I'm doing some second liens, and that's
I mean
relationship.
your first deal.
First it was
first
actually
lien.
Yeah, and then second lien is where really relationship. I mean, first lien great, relationships are great. The second lien, it's imperative that you have that relationship because they're generally longer lasting deals. The nice thing about second lien is that you can, because it is a higher risk, it's easier to negotiate maybe 1% or 2 higher, maybe a point or 2 higher than if you were in first position. So the deals can be a little sweeter. But as far as, and that's, you know, that's a mindset shift, is to say, the deal could be a little better. I'm a little bit more at risk. But again, if you've done your due diligence, the numbers work out, but you're comfortable with that person, then going into that second lien becomes almost second, you know, like
right. Let's come back a little bit back. Let's come back a little bit back. How did you excuse me, how did you learn how to underwrite and how to do due diligence as a PML, private lender?
I learned it through my master class. Basically they had like 2 very long classes on what you need to do, and total 100%. I bet you heard it 50 times if you heard it once. Always use a title company. Never send money to the buyer. Always use a title company. At that particular time, I had no idea what a transaction coordinator was. Now I'm using a transaction coordinator, which takes a whole lot of pressure off because I know what I'm doing, but there are things that, especially when you're dealing with different states, because every state has a different requirement. So I think that becomes huge, is to have somebody else look over what's going on. It's a cost, but it's well worth it in the end. And anything that you do that gives you peace of mind is worth the time and the cost, for sure.
Yeah, correct. I love what you just mentioned. So a lender never should transfer money direct to borrower. Always through title company. Always. And you know, Debbie, actually, people just put only once in the chat. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's you are right. Everything is about human relationship. It's first, So after you've done learning, Debbie, how to underwrite, you started underwrite by yourself, or you trusted someone. So did you do underwriting?
I've done some underwriting, and I have, like, because I still have access to coaches, I would always let them look at it just to make sure that I didn't miss anything, because it's very easy, like I said, especially if you're dealing in different states, to miss different costs. The other thing is yeah, you use a title company, but you also, some people think all you need is a promissory note, but you need a deed of trust as well.
Okay.
Promissory does not protect you. That's a
Yeah.
personal loan. The deed of trust makes it, gives you access to the property.
Awesome. Yeah,
Even on
it's
second lien, you have
awesome.
to have a deed of trust, not just a promissory note.
Okay. So, what is the difference between process for lender between when you sign documents as a first lien position lender and second lien position lender? Could you please break down a little bit first situation, first lien, and then to tell us about second lien position?
Okay, with your second lien position, obviously, if it were to have to go to foreclosure, obviously your first lien position is going to get paid. If there's anything left, then the second lien position gets paid. That's another key point, because if you're going into second position, say like in the instance that there was a hard money lender that was in first lien position, don't ever go into that without knowing who the hard money lender is and making contact with the hard money lender so that they are well aware that you are there and you are second lien and that you exist, and build a rapport with them as well so that if something happens, they will have your interest in mind as well. So don't just assume that they're going to take care of you, because that's why it's a relationship. You have to build rapport with that. And like if you're doing creative finance, then that becomes, the buyer themselves. So again, you've got to feel very, very comfortable with that person that you're doing business with.
Correct. So creative finance, it's always second lien position for private money lender.
Right.
Always. Excuse me. And we as an investors, we always should be very honest with our lenders to educate as much as possible our lender to explain about second lien position. But now you have experience lending first and second lien position. How do you feel about how important is for lender to be able to calculate numbers and to do own due diligence?
It's extremely important, because that's where you get your peace of mind. And when you're doing creative, and obviously you're in second lien position, and I just had a huge mindset and a big hurdle that I had to overcome, because we're doing some underwriting on some buy and holds that we're looking at doing, and there's PMLs obviously going to be involved in that property. So for me, having been a PML, my priority was, and still is, to make sure that private money lender is comfortable, that they know how they're going to be taken care of, that how this process is going to work. Now, for a second lien private money lender, there's a benefit also. If you're comfortable with your buyer, then your money can be in this project for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, 3 years. If you're not the kind of person that wants to run numbers, that wants to do your due diligence, that wants to vet people all the time, those are sweet deals, because you have a person that you're working with, that you're comfortable with, your money's out there, it's making money, and you're not having to do, you don't have to vet people every 6 months or for 12 months. Your money is just working for you. So that's
correct. So, when you land in creative deals, it's particularly passive income, correct?
Very much so. Yep.
Yeah. And do you remember the moment when you decided to switch, to move forward from first lien to second lien? What was the motivation? Maybe you met someone who explained you more. Maybe you just, I don't know. What was what most pushed you to try second lien?
The person, the buyer. I mean,
okay, so you were just great person.
It was the buyer, and I felt very comfortable. The deal was solid. It was very, and I would go back to that buyer all day long. And so when it became second lien, it was, there wasn't I didn't lose sleep over it, because I was very confident that the buyer was going to take care of me, that I was the priority. So, I knew
it's awesome.
Yeah. So again, it's relationship. I mean, if I didn't feel comfortable with the buyer, I might do first lien because you're in pretty good shape as a first lien PML person.
Right.
But to go second lien, that was, the key was the person. The only reason I did it was because of the person.
Yeah, I love it, Debbie. I love what you just said, because you see, everyone put once in the chat. Everyone believes it's human-based business. Yeah. And could you please do a little bit breakdown about what you just said, the person, your relationship. So what this person done good? Why you feel this such level trust to your borrower?
So basically was contacted by a gator that this person needed, money. And so, but then I went through, the deal looked great. In fact, it was a kind of an amazing situation because it didn't matter if they had my money for 3 months or 6 months, it was a flat rate. So the money looked really good, but I thought, so I requested, this is one where they gave me a video of the person. And I thought, well, interviewed great, looked great. So I required that we had a Zoom meeting, that we had a couple of Zoom meetings, because it's always easy to fool somebody once, but not generally twice. So, and I was kind of obnoxious. I was kind of demanding, asked lots of questions. I was actually trying to, and this probably isn't fair, but I was trying to throw them off their game to see, how patient are they going to be with me? How communicative are they going to be with me? Are they going to respond to every text that I send or every email that I send? This person was Johnny on the spot. Never missed a text, never missed an email. Called sometimes when they're like, I don't really want to try to explain this, through an email, and got on Zooms, and we did Facebook a couple of times. And then, and obviously you do second lien, so you're still like, okay, but pictures every week, emails every week, updated me on the project every week, very excited, involved me in everything that was going on. So it was like we were partners in the deal. I wasn't just loaning him money, we were partners in the deal. Super involved with his PML person, super involved. He made me know that I was priority in his life, that he was going to take care of me.
Oh, but your second deal, it was still PML, not PMP, correct?
Correct, yes. Yep.
Yeah.
But he made me feel like I was part of his deal, because I was just a PML, but I was part of it all the way through. Like I said, if there was something going down in the deal that wasn't good, he let me know right away. If it was going great, sending me pictures. It was like you were walking through the project with him the whole time.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you said you never met this person in reality, right? You met your borrower only through FaceTime, through Zooms several times, right?
Yep. But it was just the way that they responded, and they were patient, and no matter what I asked, they replied. So they very, very depicted themselves as professional and on top of things. So it was the person, no doubt, that made me feel I could jump that direction and be okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story. Yeah, you see, I'm happy, even though you have your first experience, not the best experience, which again, we are learning. We all are learning all the time, right? Yeah, God gifted you with second person, and you see the difference. The borrowers are humans as well, and we can make mistakes sometimes, right? But you see, there are reliable people on the market.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. If something would have went south, I would have known and been prepared for it, versus not hearing about anything, not knowing what's going on, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I need to extend for 3 months. Well, why? So communication from the buyer to the PML is first and foremost.
Yeah, correct. And Debbie, in any relationship, right? Friends, we need to see feedback, right? We don't have to feel abandoned. In personal relationship, communication is always the point, correct? Between neighbors, and in business, nothing new, right? Nobody created anything specific. Everything about humans. It's awesome. It's awesome. Let's come back a little bit to my question about documents. So what are the main difference between papers and process itself when you sign as first lien position lender and second lien position lender? I'm asking this question because I know right now we have a couple people who are never done lending, who are considering to start lending in real estate because at least people realize right now there is probably no other source who can be such a beneficial for lender like real estate can, right? So people really want to save their money against inflation. So what people need to understand if they want to be to make passive income sitting on second lien position, lending creative deals.
So for me and everything that I've learned, the paperwork is no different. You definitely, if second lien, you still need that promissory note. You still need that deed of trust.
Debbie, please, little bit more about what is promissory note. Could you please little bit more explanation give to people?
Okay, so a promissory note is a pretty basic document that basically lines out who the parties are, what the address of the property is, the terms of the deal, like the amount of money, the payout, the interest rate, and it's a document that's signed by both the buyer and the lender. But again, if you don't, that's just kind of that makes it a personal loan from you to the buyer. Because at that point in time, you have no access to the property. There's nothing putting any type of, lien or anything on the property. So a promissory note is basically a promise for the buyer to pay the lender back.
So this is a document where everything written about terms, about timing, about responsibility, right? How often you guys agreed you as a lender will receive your check? Monthly, quarterly, once in 6 months, in the end of the year, or whatever, correct?
Correct.
Everything written. And a document that which says everything about borrower's responsibility. Yeah, okay, you signed this document, borrower signed this document. Where this document goes to?
The document should go to the title company.
Okay, and what title company does with this document? Do you know the whole procedure?
What title? I didn't catch the question, sorry.
Yeah, what title company does with promissory note? What is the final destination?
The promissory note basically, to the best of my knowledge, stays with the title company. So the lender gets a copy, the buyer gets a copy, and the title company gets a copy so that they know obviously how much money is going to be at the time of closing, what they should be looking for.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so just for those who doesn't know the procedure, so title company, this is the legal part of the process. Lawyers who accompany the legal procedure of purchasing property. They take part in all process creating documents, and they control everything, and the all documents that they take from both parties, from borrower and from lender, they should register it against the property. So we mentioned a couple of times first lien position, second lien position. When someone purchase creative finance deal subject to or seller finance, first lien always or hard money lender, bank, or homeowner, if it's seller finance deal. And title company brings all documents in the registry of deed. So to be second lien position, it's absolutely, I would say, legal. You are not protected for 100% because, like Debbie mentioned, if property goes to foreclosure, first who receive their money, it's lender who is on first lien position, hard money or homeowner. So everything based on humans relationship, but again, everything documented and everything registered again, the property in registry of deed. Correct, Debbie?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. First or second, you get a deed of trust, and that stays with the title company. It's actually the title company acts as the third party in the process of the deed of trust.
Yeah. And it's very important for everyone to build good relationship with a title company with good reputation. Correct. To make sure these people know, what they do. They're reliable. Like just Debbie said, everything based on humans relationship. And you as a buyer and you as a borrower or you as a lender need to make sure these guys, lawyers, that are responsive, right? They respond your emails.
Always make sure before you sign off on anything, you know exactly who the title company is. You contact the title company, you talk to somebody at the title company, you have them send you an email. So I have talked to other private money lenders that the title company technically wasn't a title company. It was, they were portraying themselves as that so that the lender felt like they were sending everything to a title company. So again, PML due diligence, make the connection and make the contact with the title company yourself. If the buyer says, oh, don't worry about it, I'll take care of that. No, the PML has the same responsibility to connect with the title company as the buyer does.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Great. Did you have any situations when deal became turning to the point for you and changed your approach to creative financing strategies?
I'm not sure I understand your question.
If you stepped into second lien position, it means you had enough trust to these strategies, right? To creative finance strategies. Do you have ever situation when you're got a feeling you are losing trust to these strategies? When you got disappointed or something?
Yeah, I personally have not, but I have some PML friends that did, and technically, the buyer didn't really have things figured out, so they were going to end up selling the property, but they got in too deep, basically. So at the end of the day, with what they were going to be, because they obviously had taken over a mortgage. So they were basically not even going to be able to sell the house for what the mortgage was. But it worked out because somebody else came in and picked the deal up under the creative situation and got the deal flowing. So the PML was okay. But that is definitely one thing to watch if you're going to go in second lien on creative finance is the sub 2 mortgage that they're picking up, is the ARV going to, does it meet the ARV, or are they going to be upside down when they first go into it? Just because it's creative, they didn't consider that. So as for secondly, that's something to be paying attention to, is how, if they have to exit the situation, what is their exit strategy going to be?
Yeah, a lot to know, right? You need to be, you need to understand, you need to make sure your borrower can have something, maybe some reserves to cover their debt, right? If something will go wrong.
And I think the PML needs to make it very clear in the conversation and this is the other thing with the relationship is, can you have that difficult conversation with the buyer without them just being frustrated or irritated with you? Make it very clear, I'm in this for 12 months, or, in 8 months from now, we can revisit this and I might extend it to another 12 months, or make your intent very, very clear. Don't leave anything open for speculation. Have that conversation, be upfront. And if they're waffling on, well, we might need you for a year, we might need you for 18 months, we might need you for 2 years. You need to have that serious conversation that says, what does this look like? And when are we going to revisit this? So
correct. Questions. Like our mentor Stanton always
right.
says, guys, you need to study how to ask good,
The
correct
right
questions,
questions.
right?
Yeah. Good questions
To
and the right
predict,
questions.
right?
Yep.
To predict all kind of ifs, right?
Yeah. And I would say as a
Yeah.
PML, I think people need to understand you're entitled to ask those questions. You are entitled to know exactly what the strategies are, exactly what's going on. If a buyer tells you don't worry about it, then you might want to just move on because you are part of that project. You're the, you got to make sure you're protected. So ask those hard questions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what builds that relationship is those hard questions.
Yeah, Debbie, actually, I had a funny story with a friend of mine. So she, I know her more than 20 years. She's Ukrainian, just like me. And so we had conversation some time ago. And after I started to be more active in social media, she asked me, what is your business? What are you doing? After I explained her, so I buy creative real estate in US. And I use my private money lender's money, so I pay people high interest. She said, "Oh my gosh, I know you million years. I trust you. I know you're responsible. You're a great person. I won't start investing with you." I said, "Not at all. First, you need to educate yourself. First of all, really, I'm sorry, I'm too old to take all this responsibility on me. I'm kidding." Yeah, to be a lender, you guys need to invest your time studying, learning, educate yourself.
Well, and
And
the more
Debbie,
you
what you
know, the more you
experience?
help the buyer.
Oh yeah, it was actually my next question. What your experience says, if you meet really experienced buyer and good person and you click together, you feel trust. From all your experience you have right now, is experienced buyer able to educate a potential lender enough to give appropriate amount of knowledge to this person to make a potential lender real lender?
I mean, me personally, I'm sure there's a lot of buyers out there that, they would certainly know how to, and I don't want to use spin the deal because that makes it sound like they're not doing the right thing. But they can certainly present the deal where, in that aspect, I think they can add to it. But I don't think any private lender should rely on the buyer to walk them through the PML portion of the deal. I think a PML needs to take training and know how to protect themselves. Because being a buyer and being a PML is two different things. The paperwork's totally different. Buyers, are not, they don't need a promissory note to buy the property. They don't need a trust deed to buy the property. So the paperwork is substantially different. So they may be very intelligent on the investor side, and they may know the PML side if they, but I think the PML needs to do their due diligence. Don't rely on somebody else to do that for you.
Yeah, it's for sure. But we all realize it's common responsibility between borrower and lender, correct? So let's say I am lender, potential lender, you are my potential borrower. Are you able to give me enough information to educate me, to teach me how to calculate, how to run all numbers through calculate, what to teach me what is cash on cash return, why it's important, to explain potential lender what is RV, what is LTV, why all these numbers important, right? To bring your lender step by step through all numbers to make your potential lender feel confident about whole process. So, or lender really need to take some special classes, long process to pay someone money or whatever. What is your opinion?
I think if the borrower has all of that in detail and they, for me, if they were going to give me the ARV, I want to know what their comps are. I want I don't want just the bottom line. I want all the details that came up with all of those figures. I do think a borrower can provide all that for you and help you feel more comfortable about that. I do think a PML does have some responsibility to become familiar with that side of it, with the terms, and like when you're looking at that numbers, know what they mean, how it affects the bottom line, where they came from, and the borrower could certainly, spend time educating you on all that stuff. But at the end of the day, again, there's that relationship thing. I mean, if this person's a total stranger and you don't feel comfortable with them, are you going to feel comfortable with those numbers? So I don't think it's like, when we talk about other things in the real estate business, you don't have to know everything because somebody's going to know it. You can just utilize their knowledge. If I was going to do that and I didn't know, 100% would be using a transaction coordinator to look over all of those documents. If I didn't know how to read that, I would definitely be utilizing a different source.
Debbie, could you please explain our people who see us right now, who are transaction coordinators, because not everyone knows who are they.
Oh, okay, sorry. A transaction coordinator basically goes, they're an entity that goes over all of the documents that you're going to need to make this deal work. Basically, they can prepare your promissory note. They can do your trust deeds. They can look at the deal and say, yeah, deal or no deal. And they can prepare all that stuff. So when it's time to send it to a title company, you know that you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed, and you've got everything done that needs to be done. Especially, like I said, when you're dealing with multiple states, if you're loaning outside, they know the state's laws. They know what you're going to need, because some states may need something different than other states. Some of it's called trust deeds in some states it's called something else. You also have your usury laws, where each state has a different usury law that allows you to only charge so much percent interest or pay out so much interest. So they're going to know all of that stuff. So it's well advised to take, some money out of your pocket and pay a transaction coordinator, so that at the end of the day, when it gets to title, it's ready to go.
Yeah, everyone should do own job, right? So even title company, even for them to accept to take your document over, your document should be well prepared, right? This is what transaction coordinator does. Right. And this is a great part and very important part for real estate purchasing process.
Right. Very cool. Like I said, make sure that you have communication prior to everything with your title company, because, some people think that, once it hits title, that everything's kosher, and that's not always true. There's a document, not necessarily the documents are going to be missing, but in my case, when it came time to do, when I had to wire the money, make sure you check with your bank, because if you had to transfer money from one account to another account, it takes 24 to 48 hours for that to, so you got to have your wire instructions and all of that stuff. So even though the buyer or the borrower is the one, you're still, as a PML, very much involved in this situation and need clear-cut instructions on what you're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, your end of it can fall apart and the deal is delayed. So
yeah,
the PML has quite a bit of responsibility. So
right. Everyone takes on responsibility. We all should be mature, responsible. Yeah, it's high-level responsibility, because it's business. All kind of business could be risky. So to avoid all risks, everyone should educate. All parties should educate themselves. It's not like John or Peter or Mary, and there are beautiful people, awesome, so kind, so friendly, so I don't know, so sincere, so smiley. Oh, I can trust. No, not at all. Not at all. Do your own due diligence. Educate yourself how to run numbers, how to understand location. What is the location crime dynamic? What is the location population dynamic? How is economy in this city, right? To understand, for example, if investor tells you, so my exit strategy, I'm going to run short-term rental, means like something like Airbnb or bed and breakfast house. But you see, this is a small place with 5,000 population. There is nothing around, not touristic attractions around. So my question would be, okay, but who will be your tenants? Who will be your guests? How are you going to make sure your property will be, let's say, 100% occupied or at least 90% occupied?
Right.
So according to the spreadsheet, you want to make it 100% occupied. How come? Correct?
Yeah, everything looks good on paper.
Everything should be very logic. Yeah, everything should be very logic. Or, for example, if your potential borrower says, my exit strategy is midterm rental, I'm going to have travel nurses as my guests. Okay, check map. If the closest hospital sits a couple 100 kilometers far from this property, your question should be, okay, where your nurses will come from? So for your nurses, it's easier to fly back home every single night, right? Than to drive to your property. So
not every borrower is a knowledge buyer. Not all of your borrowers are going to come with the knowledge of actually being a good buyer. Some of them get overzealous and just want to do a deal. And so you can be as much help to them by keeping them from going over the edge. And I had a title company, a deal go through where I'm out on the golf course. And the title company is calling me saying, we have to have this document right now. And I'm like, you could have notified me that 24 hours before, because I'm on a golf course and I don't have access to that document. So that's why I'm saying it's communication 100%. Build that relationship, keep the communication lines open, and you'll resolve yourself of a ton of problems.
Yeah, Debbie, correct. And how do you feel right now yourself after coming through experience to be first lien position lender, second lien position? Do you feel yourself confident right now? If you would meet another great investor, would you replicate second lien again?
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Okay, why?
Yep. Well, and especially if we go back to like creative finance, and like I said, this has been a huge mind shift set for me, because I was a little leery about that. But for me, because I'm not one that wants to vet a lot of people all the time. So I think for people that are going to be in second lien position on creative finance, they have that opportunity to have their money out there working for them longer, probably as close to or more than the going interest rate on first lien. And you're not having to do all that legwork all the time. If you're comfortable with your buyer and things are working, your money's just working for you, and you're just coasting along and not always out there looking for the next deal, because some of these deals are only 6 months, and then you're out there looking for another buyer and you're having to vet all over again. So I think for people that are comfortable with their, the people that they're in working with the creative finance people actually have an advantage, to be honest.
Correct. Yeah. Actually, I had a couple days ago, I had Zoom with awesome person. This person is lender. He is kind of institutional private lender. He manages someone's money. And he never tried to be on second lien. And his question was, so why I should sit on second if I can sit on first? And I said, because you don't want to lose opportunities. If sometimes people ask me this question, I'm trying to explain them. So there is more and more people, investors, they start buying creatively, more and more and more. And the disbalance between those who need second lien and those who wants to sit only on first lien, it should minimize, should goes to this way, correct? Because people who sit on first lien and who want to come back to this investor who needs, who sits on first lien, they should meet people who need second lien, because they lose opportunities. They sit months and years with their money, losing opportunities. And it's logically should come to this, at the end of the day, to this result, right?
I mean, and again, it all goes back to people. I mean, there's tons of people out there that are doing creative finance that are knowledgeable, responsible, reliable, people, and they're doing, buy and holds. Obviously, most people that are doing buy and holds are trying to do creative because you can have more because you don't have to, you don't have to have all those mortgages in your name. So they're going to be buying and holding properties, giving you more opportunity to keep your money working for you. But it's like, if you get the wrong borrower, and it doesn't matter if you're first or second, you got a problem. So again, it's up to the PML to do their due diligence to create that relationship. And I mean, you can do background checks. If you're a PML, you can do a background check on your borrower.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you don't do your due diligence and you get burned, it's shame on you. Obviously, you can do everything you can possibly do and still get burned, but you will minimize your risk, whether it be first or second, if you do your due diligence, create that relationship, keep the line of communication open, follow up.
Correct. So. Just wanted to say something to people who are considering to start lending in real estate, but who feel not confident to start investing in creative deals. Guys, you can invest in them and to be on first lien position. So there are several ways to be real estate investor. Some people do just, for example, fix and flip, and they always need first lien position. Every situation has own pluses and minuses, right? Advantages, disadvantages. For example, if you want to start lending in first lien position deals, it means this project will work shorter amount of time than creative one, and probably you will need to be involved more in the process, because fix and flip, I love contractors, don't misunderstand me, but you really need to control the process from A to Z. You need to control, is this person shows up today on the property, right? Or they skip couple weeks. You really need to control situation. There is no way for you to take passive income unless you know contractor all your life and you trust really this person like yourself.
Right.
For second lien position lenders, Debbie is absolutely correct. It's a little risky because if property goes to foreclosure, you are the second person who will receive your investment back. But again, as Debbie, as an experienced lender, said, if you build that relationship with a borrower, you know this person well, and you done your homework well, you know how to calculate numbers, you know how to analyze location and property, you probably will avoid most of the risks. And if you really looking to build, to have passive income, this is probably your way. So yes, everything has pluses and minuses. You just read this book and understand what kind of minuses and pluses.
Right. Well, and if you're going to do like second lien on, a creative finance, work with have them show you the contractor's report, what repairs are going to have to be. I mean, you're entitled to that information. So make sure that, if you're going to be funding money on that type of thing, that you see the pictures, what the contractor says. Make sure that your buyer has done their due diligence, that they're getting themselves into a solid deal. You can help your borrower just by, watching what they're doing. And if they get fussy about it and they don't want you in the middle of it, then I would say walk away.
Absolutely. Yeah. Guys, we have several minutes left. Andrew, thank you so much if you're still here. I'm just reading through chat. Thank you everyone who've been here with us, who supported us with your presence. I personally appreciate it from earth to moon, honestly. And I know Debbie is happy to feel your support as well. And if anyone has any questions to Debbie, don't forget, she is not just a lender. She has a wholesaling business. She has a multifamily team. So she involved in many processes in real estate. If you have any questions, please ask in the chat. And Debbie Just as conclusion, could you please give couple good golden nuggets, advices for those who are just in their beginning, who just thinking to start lending in real estate?
Just remember, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Doesn't happen overnight. Educate. Just keep looking. There's information out there all the time. Don't ever think you know it all, because you don't. There's trainings out there, and once you find a good mentor, drill them for everything that you possibly can, because they know more than they even thought they did, because when you ask the question, they come up with the answer. And just be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. And if you're nervous about something, figure out why. Obviously, a lot of this is gut feeling. And if you have questions, get the answers. And if you can't get the answers, then you probably want to move on to something else. So just give yourself grace and just go for it. I mean, it's out there. There's so much opportunity. Just if you do your due diligence, then you'll be okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Debbie, to being with me today. Mm-hmm. I appreciate your time so much. It took for us almost 1 hour to be on this podcast.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That was 20 minutes.
Great. Thank you so much, Debbie, and see you soon in our cohort Zooms.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much, guys, to being today with us. It was really awesome conversation. Debbie is an awesome person. I know I met her a couple of times. She is awesome. She's so supportive. She's so kind. And I believe her partners, borrowers, that are extremely lucky, because it's not only for lender important to build relationship and to feel comfortable with borrower. It's also for real estate investor critically important to feel confident with their lender, to understand this person is adequate. This person never will call you in the middle of the night with million questions. This person respects you as a human. Their expectations are reasonable. So everything should work from both sides. I hope for those who never try lending but who are considering to start lending in real estate, I hope it was helpful. Please reach out to me or reach out to Debbie directly with all your questions. I'll put our contacts under this video on my YouTube. And if you guys interested to start lending in real estate, I am a real estate investor. I always interested to start in relationship with new lenders. Please reach out to me. I'm ready to answer all your questions and to build our relationship step by step. Thank you so much for everyone to being here with us. Bye-bye.